floating head right now, and you're black on black.
Yeah, it's
giving like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Same shirt. Maybe I'll put like a
Mecha like a high, mecha hiney ho.
What is that? What is that right?
Now everyone at home, mecha like a high, mecha hiney ho. Mecha like a high, mecha hiney ho. Mecha like a high, mecha hiney ho.
That's from Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. That's what Pee Wee would chant when he wanted to watch the cartoons. He would have the whole audience chanting "Mecha like a high, mecha high," and then the cartoon guy would come on and play the cartoons.
I was like, "Did you have a stroke right now? Are you okay?"
Do you really need me to change my shirt so it?
Oh no!
I was just poking fun.
He's just giving you crap, man.
Yeah.
I will.
Hey, by the way, the title of this is the BS Bunch, just in case you didn't catch that. So
yeah. So while we're BSing, there is a studio effect called eye contact for teleprompter. It's like I can't tell, but it allegedly is making my eyes look like I'm always looking at the camera. I have it on now, so I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. Like, I'm looking down at the star bar.
Oh, you are?
That's freaky. Stop that AI stuff. Yeah.
So, let me turn it off.
Demon.
This is normally where I'm looking at Bobby, and he's at the lower end of the monitor.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm looking down.
Looking down, yeah.
So then I turn that on.
Wah!
I'm still looking at Bobby.
That's like
I don't
magic.
know. Yeah.
That's really weird.
So
what if you turn your head really far to the side? Are your eyes going to slip to the side of your head like a flounder all of a sudden?
I'm looking at this monitor now, so I don't know where it says.
It's looking at us still.
Oh
yeah.
It's like a scary movie.
Look up at the ceiling. What happens if you look up at the ceiling? Okay, that's normal. That's normal. Okay. Your eyes, although I still feel like your pupils were trying to look at us somehow. When you were like this, they were still trying to look at us.
So anyway, that has been kind of an insecurity of mine. You look at a recording of yourself and you're like, man, I'm not ever looking at the camera.
I know.
How do I fix that? No one cares. And also the big podcasters are not looking at the camera. So
never. It's almost weird when you just look at the camera the whole time too. Like, I'm just going to stare at you.
I will literally be doing that like a sociopath.
Now you will. You can't help it now.
Yeah, you have no choice.
And now you see it. And now it's I think it's good because I'll have notes or something on the left, and it won't be obvious that I'm glancing over there to start looking at them.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's worth it. But
I think the trick is you're more intentional about it. You have a notepad and a pen, so it's almost like, oh, he's taking some smart notes down, when really you're just looking at your own notes.
Really, he's just sleeping. He's just sleeping, but the camera shows that he's...
Oh, this is a really long answer. Did you already give the brief rundown of who Kate is?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know who Kate is? I just met her. I mean, I've talked to her online, but I just actually she was in Denver, and I met her last month.
Yeah, I worked with Kate for DynamicsCon Virtual, the most recent one, and I think this was UST Pay's first sponsorship with Doug. So she really just was getting a taste of it, and they really enjoyed the results of Virtual and got good results from it. And I saw her podcast with Amy, the ISB Society, and their media sponsors, and that was really great. And she wrote such a great article about creativity and personal branding, and it was just super real. So I'm excited to share.
She's pretty funny too. I mean, she's definitely fun to talk to. Just kind of a high energy. And to your point, Brent, Bo, she travels a ton. I think she travels constantly, 2 weeks a month. I feel like she said she was on the road.
That is a lot of travel.
Mm-hmm.
You would think 25% travel would not be. That sounds like a very little amount, and then when you break it down to per month, you're like, that's 1 week a month, and you're like, that is a lot. That is But then when you're like, okay, well, it's 12 times a year, then you're like, that's not actually that much. So it's are you trying to convince yourself that you should, it's not a lot, or are you trying to convince yourself that it's a lot? You can slice and dice that data however you really want.
Right.
Okay, so let's run through how we're going to do this. It's like
Yeah, what are we talking about today? We're talking about AI and marketing. Anything
yeah.
particular, Bree?
I was thinking like I know Kate has a lot of or not I don't know, but I think that she has a lot of experience in like talking about like personal branding and it could just be like like branding for businesses too, but I'd be interested in how she uses AI for marketing in her daily life, but also just I feel like it could be helpful for like people in the community, speakers, like even like you two, like you guys probably have a lot of experience in developing like a brand. So, what kind of tools can that she uses that could be helpful,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, awesome.
she certainly does. I mean, she's got a unique brand and she's got a unique voice. Like you said, she does great with her marketing online.
There, we've started to like kind of evaluate personal and professional brand in like three different categories. So I'll talk about this a little bit with Kate, but we've broken down brand as engagement, expertise, and execution. So you can't you can't necessarily have a really good brand if you're only good in two of the three.
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of placing an importance in all three categories. But like I think a lot of times we think about like, you know, expertise and engagement on like a very public brand, but like execution professionally is also part of your like your professional brand. Like, can they actually get the work done? Are they are they super smart and they build relationships, but I can't assign them anything because they're not worth shit. Well, that's your like that is also your brand. Like,
Right, yeah.
oh yeah, they call those like the personality hires
Yeah.
at that point. They're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, really fun to hang around with, but I'm not assigning them any work. That's for damn sure.
Is this a CAF to Code initiative or a Bow initiative?
Bow initiative. We at Holt, I became familiar with this like category for brand, and I'm kind of like I agree with it enough to like kind of you know bring it into my toolbox and like kind of take it forward. I think a lot of times we do that. We take like you know experiences from different jobs and it's like okay this is me now or this is part of me and part of like how I shape the next job and how I shape myself. Have you guys ever done that?
I never was like intentionally thinking about it that way, but now that you say that, like it's a good practice like moving forward. Like what are some like I've been told that like being very enthusiastic, always willing to like raise my hand for projects that I have no experience in, like I feel like that in itself is like part of like your professional brand and going into like different roles that you may or may not have experience with. Yeah.
My mentor back at HEB, he told me like, hey, at the end of the day, you gotta be okay being yourself. And if like for him, he was kind of like a brute and like kind of like you know intense is a polite way to say it. He would always kind of describe it as like, hey, if I'm going to go down, if I'm going to get let go or fired, I have zero regrets because I was myself.
Yeah.
And like, I really took that to heart because it was like, you know, I think a lot of people try to, even like in social media, we really try to like, what audience do I want and how do I get more popular online? And you kind of like change yourself in order to like follow this formula.
Yeah.
But and Bobby, I think you were at this like same session that I was talking to on a different podcast. Your audience will find you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, be yourself. And then you're like you know, then you don't burn out. Then you're unique. I don't know. Do you guys have iPhone or are you an Android?
I'm an Android. I'm a Google Android
Okay.
Pixel.
You're an iPhone?
Yeah.
Bree, so one of the recent updates, it started to like summarize messages and summarize like groups of messages. Have you turned that on yet?
No, I honestly 9 times out of 10 do not like the updates. But are you enjoying that or?
So no, I'm not.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm like the polar opposite of you. I'm on like the beta of releases, so I'll get something like months ahead of everybody else. So like, admittedly, so most of my like phone, um, like
Hey,
my
Kate.
experience with my phone is always
Oh.
like super glitchy. So
Funny.
it'll like it'll it's the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Kate's email grouped with a work email, but like Apple's like Siri tried to summarize both, and it like I should have taken a print screen of it because it was like something like excited for this Friday, but I need the statement of work by Monday. Like it was like,
I'll see
what?
you at
What
the
is
bar and
happening?
drinks. And you're like,
Right.
what?
Yeah. It was like the way that it groups like certain
Conflating
messages
7
together
emails that were
and then
unrelated, but one
summarize.
word was the same that brought them together. Siri.
But it'll group it by app and then summarize every single one of them. So if I'll get like 10 personal emails and like 2 work emails in the same grouping, it will summarize it. It will try to summarize it. I'll start taking print screens of this and send it to y'all because it
Yeah.
is
I love
like
that.
wildly entertaining to like see some of that stuff. Or I'll get like 200 messages from my wife's family and it will accurately summarize all of it. And I'm like, see, that is really good.
Yeah,
That is
that
like, I'll take
works.
that all day.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
Kate.
Kate, how's it going?
Hello. Bo, I
Fancy
have
seeing
not
you
had the
here.
great pleasure of meeting you. Hello. Good to meet
I
you
know.
in this virtual space.
Yeah, great to meet you.
I see you have a
Yeah.
friend behind you. What's that friend's name?
That is Bowie.
Aww.
I have
David.
3 dogs. One is usually in that chair. The rascal Murphy is crated. He is my puppy. And I have a border collie, Maggie, as well. But usually Bowie, if you look at any videos of me, usually Bowie is right there in that chair. So
Nosy
Nice.
coworkers. We love them.
he's my
He's
little
got,
work
he's got
companion.
the lightning strike across his face.
Well, I tell you, I went to the pound. My youngest child was leaving, and I was happy. She went to college. She wasn't just packing up and leaving. It was for a reason.
I'm out of here.
I thought
I'm
we were still
done,
talking
Mom.
about dogs. I was like,
So
went to
I was
college.
having a
Interesting.
nervous breakdown over it, and she said,
Aw.
I think you need another dog. So we went to the pound, and I saw Bowie almost 3 years ago. I got her, and she has one blue eye and one green eye. And I
Oh,
said, I don't
yeah.
care if you're a boy or a girl, your name is Bowie, and you're coming home with me. And
I
so,
love it.
yeah.
Aww.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And she is my spirit animal. She's very clingy, but I'm okay with it because I'm an empty nester. So, anyway.
We were just talking about how we kind of knew you in the social space, but then had just started to connect with you as well. So it's interesting how there's this broad network of great people that have been in the channel forever and ever, and then
Yeah.
you're just kind of slowly picking away and meeting them.
Yeah. So I am actually very new to the channel. I have only been here for 2 years. So our product launched on AppSource at the end of 2022. So I'm the new kid on the block. I just don't know how to be quiet. That's the problem. And then I don't know.
You're in the right
So
group.
welcome. Yeah, you joined the right one.
Hi, I'm Bobby. I don't know how to be quiet.
Don't
It's
know how to
a
be
like
quiet about all of
proverbial
this. Here
like
we are.
drummer. Like you tell the drummer to not hit the drums, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna do it
impossible.
louder.
There's a great on the reels now. Have you seen this one band? It's like a local band, but the drummer's a nut like this. Like he plays weird sound effects in the middle of serious
I've
songs.
seen it.
Did you ever play instruments, Kate?
You know, my mother is a concert pianist. My
I did know
father
that.
can
Yeah.
play pretty much any instrument that you can pick up. I'm the oldest of 5. All of my siblings play something. I play spoons, so and not well. So
Okay.
I grew up kind of more dance and theater. and just kind of let them be the Partridge Family over there, and did my own thing. So no, I don't. My husband is an incredible musician, unbelievably talented musician. So we have, guitars on the wall. We recently got a piano, and it is a goal of mine to learn at least to play piano. Let me just learn to play something that will dazzle. That's all.
Yeah. Spoons can dazzle. I mean, you need spoons in a good, jug band, bluegrass, porch setting. If you don't have spoons I come from a Southern family, Kate, so I grew up in Virginia, but very Western, Southern style. And my parents live in Richmond. They have a big wraparound porch. And if I'm out there, if you drive by, my dad is playing music about 3 hours a day on the porch with anybody that walks by, with anybody that's in the house. And if spoons, a jug, plant that's beside you, whatever there, you play. Yeah. Washboard, all of it. Yeah.
I can do that. I can tear up some percussion. I will say, do not challenge me at Beatles Rock Band. Do not. You will go down.
That was a gauntlet. I felt that all the way over here. I was like, do not challenge me at Beatles.
Challenge me, band. Please go ahead. Let's see what happens.
No, seriously, now challenge me.
No, really. Right. Let's go.
If you want to cry, if you want to get
if you want to cry, if you want to have a breakdown.
Let's go.
I will Hey Juju all over the screen.
Helter Skelter on the drums. Helter Skelter, 100% perfect score. I got blisters on my fingers. Is all I got.
Are you drumming? You're the drummer in the rock band for Beatles? Okay.
I'm the Ringo
You're pulling down the Ringo part. I love it.
Yep.
I have to see receipts online for this. I gotta see.
We're gonna find in Chicago. We're gonna find some place that has. We're gonna either bring a PlayStation or something that has a Rock Band. We're going to set up a room and we're going to watch this happen.
Please do. Could you, you want to talk about community building? There you go.
Yeah.
Is that community building or is it going to get out?
Or was it just Kate tearing the community down?
Loser!
Next!
Now I'm going to have to pack up my drums and bring my drum kit.
Please do.
My drum kit.
There's drum kit, a couple slabs of plastic, and whatever's involved.
Electronic drums are drums too.
But count. Rock band electronic drums are even that's just a slightly step down, right? You can't really beat them. Yeah. I mean, if you beat them, you'll just break them. Like if you're really smacking them with your drumsticks.
When you play like Kate, you do.
When you play, she's on her fourth set of rock band drums. Kate, welcome to the BS Bunch.
Thank you.
You're here. You made it. About 65% of what we say is BS. Actually, everything we say is BS because we are all
the BS Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're excited to talk about
plus KCB.
Plus KCB. I love it.
Yeah, you know me.
We're down with KCB.
We are down with KCB. That's right.
Kate, do you understand how BS Bunch works? I know Bree sent you a link to our last one, but do you understand the concept of our little, at least our little portion of the yes? Okay, good. So we're gonna.
And I watched it, and I will say, so I sent all of you an email, right? And I was like,
yep.
Give me some kind of outline. Hello, Type A. And so I have been reading headlines like nonstop.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
No. Oh, okay, good.
I've been reading headlines in preparation, not to have a nervous breakdown every day, but in preparation for
I love it.
This. So I'm not saying I've got it all together. I'm just saying, I had to do some kind of preparation. I don't know.
I love it.
Blindly.
Copilot, show me every marketing headline for the last 6 months.
This is going to be a tough one, guys.
It'll be a tough one. I'm feeling it. So we're we'll read off our stories, and one at a time. And as the person's done, you can give them a rating, and then of 1 to 5, 5 being the most BS, 1 being the least BS. And then at the end, we'll ask who you think the true BSer is. Are you ready?
Get my mind right. Hold on.
Get your mind right. Yeah, take a minute, breathe it in.
Okay.
Do you think you're rank yourself here? Are you better at rock band drums than guessing whether or not this is going to be BS, or do you think
BS.
you're
Oh, man,
where are you going to rank yourself before we read these off?
Oh, but that's tough. I mean, I'm pretty good at rock band. But I also have I also got a strong intuition thread in me. So, you know what? I'm going to stay in better at Rock Band.
Okay. We've got something going for us. We got something going for us. I feel a little comfortable.
I'm trying to give you
That
hope.
does remind me, one of these times we need to just all three be fake.
Yeah.
Just like,
Don't
your BS meter was way off. You thought.
I will say, the one of you that gave the story about celebrity with the romance thing.
That was Bree, yeah.
I had read that it was Brad Pitt. So I had called you out because I hadn't read
There was another one. There's multiple scandals out there.
Yeah,
but
actually, that's multiple scandals.
Here are three stories. Ah, but one's BS. With three BSers. And just one guest. To whom they tell the stories? Then the guest must make a guess at which story is BS. The BS Bunch.
Cool.
Okay,
Who wants to
ready.
go first? I can't remember who went first last time.
Yeah, I think Bree wants to go.
Okay.
Where you
I'm
go?
gonna go.
All right.
All right. The article title is KFC's newest kernel is a creepy CGI parody of an Instagram influencer. Here's the summary. KFC has officially outdone itself in the world of weird marketing stunts. Instead of hiring another celebrity to play Colonel Sanders, they've gone full digital and introduced virtual influencer Colonel, a computer-generated dude with chiseled abs, a CGI girlfriend, and an Instagram presence that's equal parts inspirational and ridiculous. This new Colonel isn't just about frying chicken. He's also living the influencer dream. He's got his own hashtag secret recipes for success, which is also tattooed across his abs because why not? And he drops wisdom like, never lose sight of what makes you you, especially if that thing is making fried chicken. It's deep, right? But he's not just here making virtual drumsticks, he's also landing real-life brand deals with Dr. Pepper, Old Spice, and even TurboTax, because there's nothing that pairs with fried chicken like filing your taxes. But this is exactly the kind of over-the-top stunt that KFC is known for. Over the years, that we've seen the Colonel played by Jim Gaffigan, Reba McEntire, and even RoboCop. So now with AI-generated influencers rolling into Coachella season, one thing is clear. KFC isn't just selling chicken, they're serving up pure, crispy chaos.
Boom.
That is my article.
He's
Man,
dropping that
okay.
virtual mic.
Couple of comments. Headlines don't surprise me anymore. So I'm like, okay, all right. We are also in a huge age of rebranding, right? So, man, I mean, in general, this whole story is BS. Like, it just, like, what are we doing? Colonel Sanders, Colonel
There's
Sanders.
referentially, what is BS?
Right. Like, this whole thing
None
is,
taken.
you know, it's like rebranding Ronald McDonald, or, you know, anyway. Okay,
You can't go very far with a clown these days. Clowns still scare the crap out of everybody. So
just
Have you
give him a
guys
red
heard of
balloon.
Colonel Sanders before? Colonel Sanders, this like persona for KFC.
Oh, yeah.
looked
Yeah,
at
oh
him.
yeah.
Sounds familiar, but this guy's really.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they really like.
This is a story for another day, but I almost stole a physical Colonel Sanders when I was in high school. There's one of those, stand-up Colonel Sanders that was positioned right by the door that you leave the restaurant, and the restaurant was such that the counters are kind of around the corner. I thought we could take this really easily.
Wow.
I had a plan laid out. Nobody was ready to execute the plan with me. But
I wish you had, and I wish it was right behind you.
seriously, it would have been awesome to have that dude behind me right now. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Kate.
So
We
scale of
we
1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5.
Being totally legit. 5
Yeah.
being what are we doing? I'm gonna give it a 4.
a 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, strong score.
All right.
Okay.
Bo, I think I went last time. Last time, so I'm going to jump in the middle here.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
leave you for the end. All right. My story is coming to us from the article. I'm going to repeat that.
Already.
My article is coming to us from Wired. Brace yourself for predictive analysis, emotional style. Software engineers at... Give me a second. I'm just screwing around with my teleprompter. I don't have the cool teleprompter like Bo where I can look at things. He's got these eye things that are... Went over this beforehand. It's crazy. His eyes are like... His eyes aren't even real right now. I'm starting over. This article comes to us from Wired. Brace yourself for predictive consumer analysis, emotional style. Software engineers at the Massachusetts-based Acuity Labs are close to unveiling a new artificial intelligence technology that will identify consumer emotions with near-perfect accuracy. Sneezing? You'll get ads for Kleenex. Feeling angry? Chamomile tea. Feeling a bit amorous? Careful, Alexa might just ship you a bottle of Dom and start playing All of Me by John Legend.
Love that.
Yeah. Dr. Kayleen Sterner, the head of development at Acuity Labs, claims that their software will redefine how brands interact with consumers, offering an unprecedented level of personal engagement. Those freaked out by getting a stream of Coca-Cola ads after searching for the newest soda flavor are in for a bubbly surprise. The sophisticated system, currently beta named Emoda Market, uses a combination of advanced machine learning, algorithms, and, when available, biometric data analysis to deliver a constant stream of profile data that will allow for real-time advertising. So, be prepared for Kleenex at your door. Be prepared to get Kleenex at your door when you start crying.
You know what? Okay, first of all, this is very believable. If I'm talking about something in my house, like, we're planning a trip, a vacation, we're going to go likely to St. Lucia. Do you know how many advertisements I'm seeing for St. Lucia right now? Because
that's
she's
real.
live and in charge in my house. So this is really hard for me to find the BS here. But also I know you, Bobby Small. I know you. Man.
But we all are BSers.
I know.
This isn't
You
our
didn't
first.
ask me if I was better at Rock Band or BSing, by the way. That might be a clue.
Oh, I should have.
Am I better at...
I'm going to give it a 2. Because I'm seeing elements of this already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a 2. I really want to give it a 1, but I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
2. That's
Shading
my
to the
final
2.
answer. Can
All
I
right,
phone a
fair
friend?
enough.
Or is this we got a thing?
Yeah, virtual
this is
Colonel
live,
Sanders, are you
so-
real? Yeah.
Co-piloting on the side, Colonel Sanders.
Right. I like to phone a friend.
Is it Colonel Sanders with a K? Like how always been
Yeah.
colonial.
Colonel Sanders. All right, Bo.
Okay. First off, Breeze Reed was set at too high of a bar. Just bring
It
it
was.
back down.
I had my news reporter voice on.
Yeah, perfect.
And Bobby and I both had the hashtag in sync. And,
We were simpatico the whole time. We were showing abs. We were hashtagging.
I can't wait to see the recording for that.
Okay. Mine is from also Wired, actually. The article title is How Unilever's AI Marketing Bets are Increasing Production Efficiency. Unilever is leveraging AI, specifically NVIDIA's multiverse platform, to create digital twins, accurate 3D replicas of its products, enabling content production at twice the speed and half the cost. This approach streamlines adaptation of product imagery across the various formats and channels, from TV advertising to e-commerce, by consolidating assets like packaging variants and language labels into a single digital file. Early results from Unilever's beauty and well-being segment, which includes brands like Tresemme and Dove. Dove should be a chocolate, but anyway.
Yeah, make sure you get the right Dove when you're popping them at Easter time. Yeah.
Yeah, not the chocolate, the beauty product of the Dove. Shows a 55% increase in savings and 65% faster content turnaround, with some brands also experiencing a rise in consumer purchase intent.
Both eyes were locked in that entire time.
Yeah.
I know. It's also AI, like keeping my eyes there. Is that weird?
Yeah. Bo was
Now
actually
that
rolling his eyes the entire time he was speaking.
I've had my
Just
eyes
thought that
closed
all
the
up.
entire time. But Kate's not in on
Okay,
this,
so
so I
that's
feel
it.
like we need to like loop her in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the article, or that was a summary of the article.
Yep.
I wish I knew more about that topic. I do. Oh man.
It's almost if you were.
She's now regretting like the hours she spent looking at headlines.
I am.
We're all of that.
We're
preparing for
one of
the
these covered.
SAT. Like, what are you preparing for? You have to like prepare for all the questions.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I feel like I don't know anything about this topic. I really don't. So, I'm going to just go in the middle and give it a 3 because full disclaimer, I don't know much about this topic. Okay. So now I have to pick which.
Now it's time for the big reveal. You need to pick which article, Summer, you think is the BS article.
Man, this is tough because, here's my analytical brain kicking in. The Colonel Sanders is outlandish enough to actually be true. It's weird enough to actually be true. Bobby, I think, I know if yours is BS, I am very surprised because I'm actually seeing it. And Bo, I don't know anything about your topic. Oh my gosh. Bowie, help.
Send me a line.
He's just sleeping.
I'm going to say, I know, she's out. She's no help. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, I just have to pick one. Brianna, yours is BS.
No, it's not. Colonel Sanders is real.
You?
Virtual.
Bo, is yours BS?
It is not. Mine's real.
It's Bobby.
Was it really?
I am the BSer. Yeah, so I started with a prompt into Copilot. The goal of this is to use Copilot to give this fake article. So I asked it to give me 10 fake article ideas around AI and marketing. And it gave me 10, and I didn't quite like them, so I asked for 10 more. I was like, yeah, there's not quite the flavor I'm looking for. They weren't quite believable. I was like, it needs to be a little bit more believable. So finally, it gave me one that was kind of the genesis of what I read eventually. I took that, and then I just kept reprompting it slowly with like little tidbits, like, can you add a name, or can you, somebody give it some credibility? Can you add something that's adjacent enough in marketing to give it credibility?
Yeah.
But there's no emotic marketing coming up. There's no target. Oh, but you're right. That's the weird thing that makes it believable, right? Because how often do you hear, like, I've got like non-tech people in my family going, this is freaking me out. I just said the word bicycle, and all of a sudden, I turn the TV on and there's a bike ad, and my phone's telling me to buy a bike. And
the Kleenex was funny.
It's like it's terrifying, right?
It's
like
a bit terrifying.
So believable, and you're seeing, at least I'm seeing enough of it that it made it even more believable. Where I'm seeing the evidence of enough of that story where I'm like, oh yeah, probably.
I think that's the weird part about it to me. It's like if you were using biometric data, it doesn't seem like it would be a far stretch to at least feel like that person's pulse is up. I should send them something to calm them down or whatever.
Right.
I'm looking at the camera. They're weeping, openly. Yes, let's send them a happy video, a puppy to the front door. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to the BS bunch. You got me.
Another win.
Speaking of ads, I've said this before, but I don't want ads for the stuff I want. I want ads for what my wife wants. Like, give me those hints. Like,
yeah. There needs to be like an API that like whatever she searches goes to your phone.
Right. I need those targeted ads.
You can just walk by your phone and whisper things.
Yeah.
That's what I need that.
Yeah.
Keep Alexa on in your house all day long, just listening to what she's thinking about.
Whenever anyone says the name, my whole house goes
My phone does this. I don't even call, like, you have to say, hey, Google on my Pixel, and it'll beep. Sometimes it just does, like, how can I help you? I was like, I didn't even say your name. It just,
I
it
don't
wants
need
to help
help.
sometimes, just out of the blue.
Yeah, eager
I
to
would
help.
very much pay for a service if like Google or Alexa was always listening, and then it was like, you know, like I'm having an argument with like my kid about like why the sky is blue, and then we could turn to Alexa and be like, "Who's right here?" And it'd be like it has all the context of the whole
Yeah.
conversation. It's like actually, Grace, 7-year-old, was right. This is why this.
I would say it
sky's
ain't going to
blue.
feel too good when your kid's more, constantly more often
Take it.
right than you
I'll
are.
take it.
At
Yeah.
that point, it's a family member.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Kate, we're interested in hearing from you on AI and marketing, what you're doing, what you see as the trends. I mean, you're out there doing this, day to day, and would love to hear from you on how it's affecting your world.
I don't think I'm using AI in marketing any differently. I was having this conversation actually yesterday with some of my marketing friends, and I was kind of talking about a few of the things that I'm doing, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah!" So, I'll share that. I think I call my AI like my cast iron skillet. Like the more I season it, the more I give back to it, the better it gets. And I've been working on my AI profiles, and I use about 6 different AI profiles. And I set each one of those up with a different voice, with a different intention, and I can quickly and easily switch between them. So if I'm writing a letter, a face-to-face event, and I'm writing that we've sponsored, and I'm writing a letter thanking, anyone that, thanks for coming, thanks for stopping by our booth. I'm going to use my voice because it's coming from me. My voice is different than my UST Pay team. That voice and all of my profiles have a different name, and I can switch between them quickly, easily. And so one of the things that I have done to set those up is to feed it, to give it food, not just create it with a prompt. So I'll create it with the style of voice that I want it to use. For mine, I've actually downloaded my transcripts from webinars that I've led, blogs that I've written, and I've fed it back to it. So it has gotten very good at understanding the cadence of language that I use, the actual words that I string together. And so the output is much better than it was a year ago. I'll also take what it's given me, edit it, and put it back in there and say, this is what I ended up using, reference this in the future for, projects that we're working on together. And I always say, thank you, you rock, because I want her to be my friend.
Does everybody, what's the golden rule? Does everybody here still thank Copilot?
I say hello.
Still,
100%.
When you start, it's like, hey, Copilot, how are you today?
I'm done. How are you?
Yeah.
I 1,000%.
Yeah.
If we get to a scenario where there's Skynet, I want it to be like he always said.
I
"Please
remember
don't
this.
do
Yeah,
it,"
exactly.
He's not going down.
You're in the
Yeah.
good list. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kate,
Yeah.
I got to ask a follow-up question.
Yeah.
I love your analogy on cast iron skillets.
A lot of food analogies, by the way. I'm really hungry now with coffee, bacon, cast iron
Having this
skillets.
podcast right before lunch was a bad idea. So, love that analogy. I'm going to steal it if that's okay.
That's fine, please.
There is this like kind of thought process of like you can buy pre-seasoned cast iron skillets these
Right.
days.
Right.
When we're thinking about AI, do you think we're going to reach like a point in time where it's like, hey, you can purchase this pre-seasoned, like already learned AI persona,
Marketer or whatever.
You're like, oh yeah, like instead of like an intentional one-line prompt that says you're a seasoned marketing professional with like tons of e-commerce experience, rather delivering it, Kate's persona that she's built over the last 2 years of like thumbs up this, thumbs down this, and it's like learned. Do you think we'll ever get to that kind of scenario?
This is kind of a question that I want to marinate on. My knee-jerk answer is I hope not. And let me tell you why. I mean, I have spent a career developing my personal brand and my voice and who I am. I don't want to package that up and give it to someone else. I think all different marketers bring a different specialized skill and voice and persona to the projects that they're working on. So like my knee-jerk answer is I wouldn't want my messaging to just be generic. If you read a message from me and you're like, oh, I bet Kate wrote that, I am like, when? Like, or that's obviously UST Pay. Same with visuals, with branding. If you see a graphic that is, is our brand and you know immediately that it's us, yes, we did it. So I think that's kind of the same thing. It's like packaging that branding and that voice and like buying something that is somebody else's. There's room to customize. There's so much room to customize and make things your own. And I think when it comes to like the messaging of a brand, yes, maybe. So let me retract a little bit. If you're talking about something that may be very technical writing, like an onboarding, things like that, that would be awesome. I would love to have that, like technical writing, give it to me. But when it comes to that personalized messaging, my answer, I hope not. I hope we don't get there.
I'd like to hear Bree's opinion, just as a younger voice, coming, kind of being in the midst of this digital age happening. My age was long ago. My indelible moments happened, and so I'm just trying to keep riding these waves of change. But from somebody who's living it in the moment, kind of as a first run, what do you feel about that?
I kind of agree with Kate. I think as a young professional, it's kind of hard and scary to find your voice and to really like find what like sticks out in the sea of voices, especially when like everyone's kind of using like AI and like that like default tone you can just see is there's a lot of it out there. So to have a tool that like kind of encourages that I'm not sure that like it would be very helpful for someone who's trying to like develop a voice.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Like
That's a really interesting question, Bo. And, I'm going to think about that some more, just different areas where that would be, like I said, at the technical writing aspect, I would welcome that. And I guess it just depends on what the purpose of that,
Maybe it just drops a few layers. So it's not, I'm buying Kate, but I'm buying a, the 15-year seasoned marketer or whatever,
Right.
and I've got a template that gets you, and then I layer my Breeness on top of it, like I'm throwing in all the things that make
maybe it's less voice and more like actual experience.
It's kind of somehow layers in some experience value to give you, but even then, if you are out there writing articles but you don't know what you're writing, it could be dangerous to you get to a live event and all of a sudden, man, you write some cool stuff, but you don't really know it as well. It's pretty interesting conversation. Obviously, a lot around where we are with what AI can do for us.
Yeah.
I think this will age me a little bit. Back in the day, it was always like you never show somebody, or how was it always phrased? You really could tell who a person is if you got to see their checkbook and like who they write checks to or like what they're sending their money out to. And then digital banking became a thing, and that became like, okay, you show your bank statement and that was like who you really are. And now, like 10 years ago, it was like, okay, it was my Google search history. I don't want to show people what I'm Googling. But now in like 2025, it's like, I don't want to show what I'm using Copilot for. And it's like, these are your deep, secretive questions. Like, what is discrete and process manufacturing again? I seem to never remember the difference. And like, that would be embarrassing if that ever got out. And you guys seeing that kind of switch, or you guys like resonate with that at all?
100%. I think, I don't think I'm co-piloting anything untoward, but there's a history building up that would be interesting if somebody looked at it like in a silo. It'd be kind of fun to see, like, from from business to personal to obscure to business again. Like, what is going on in this person's day? It's an interesting archaeological dig into a person's life, over a span of time.
I screen shared on a call with my team a couple of days ago. We were talking about AI. We're using AI. For those that don't know, we also have an educational platform in addition to our payment solution. We host over 200 webinars a year, live events with CE credits that we give at no charge. So there's like baseline what we do. So we were taking data from 4 years and running it through AI and looking at what's tracking well, who are our top speakers, what are our attendance rates, that kind of analytics. These are things that would have taken me hours and hours in the past to do, and we fed it to AI, and all this is pops out this big report. So I'm sharing my screen as we're going through this, and I'm like looking over at I was using Chat GPT for this, and I look at my sidebar of all my projects, and I was like,
Yeah.
Not that it was anything terrible or scandalous or anything like that. I was just like, I don't know what
It's our dirty little secret.
But there's enough that you're not sure. There's a 1% of you going, you know what?
No.
I'll play this on the safe side and just go ahead and 86 that list on out of here.
I know. It's kind of like when I go to the airport and I'm going through security and it's like, guns not allowed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have a gun? No, I don't have a gun. But I'm still or the drug dogs come through and I'm like, oh my gosh.
You still have that bag of weed from the 70s
Right.
in your back.
Of course I don't. Anyway, but it's that anyway, I don't know why I get afraid of guns or drugs. I don't have either.
Bree, what about you? Does that Bo's statement resonate with you as far as certainly? Do you even keep a checkbook? Like I've had a check. I rarely write a check anymore. I can't imagine new people are writing checks.
I had the same checkbook for 15 years.
I can say I've got the same set of checks. Yeah, the same checks.
Yeah.
That I haven't.
I still have to write 2 every single month for my utilities.
Wow, no, everything's online for me. When somebody says check, I'm like, really? I gotta go find this thing now. I don't even know where I put it. I got to put an air tag on it or something to find it.
No, I've got a stamp that fills most of it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Even if somebody gave me a checkbook, I'd be like, what is this? But I would say, if somebody, I think AI is especially helpful since in my role, I kind of have a customer service aspect. So there has been a lot of times where there's conflict that I have to carefully walk around and be sensitive to. And AI has been such a tool in that, saying, I think too, something I want to ask you about, Kate, what do you think about prompt writing? I feel like that has become such a skill set to have now. I think there's a certain formula that can really show success. This is the answer that I want to portray. This is the tone that I want to use. And this is the problem. Help me fix it.
Yeah.
But what do you say are your best practices that you have found with AI and prompt writing?
So here is why I started creating those profiles of voice, because I found myself using the same prompt over and over again, where it'd be write as, analyze this product description, write as an experienced marketer, just different specific drilling down prompts. And I had, this is not my most brilliant moment, but safe, brave space, I'll share it. I had a notes where I was copying and pasting my prompt from. And one day I was like, wait a minute, there's a much more efficient way of doing this. So I created a profile that starts with that prompt.
A lot of people might not know that. That's one of those things that there's probably a ton of people that don't know you can just create and save profiles.
Save profiles. So I had different levels of profiles. Like I said, I have numerous that I'm using, and I will call on that voice to write with that built-in, baked-in prompt that we keep making better every time. And I go back to that same thread, and I'm, again, seasoning that voice. So prompt, if you haven't attended Sam Bush's session on prompting, she's genius with it. I think she was kind of one of the first ones in the community to get people to kind of start thinking about it differently, and gave it real actionable legs for us. And so it's like taking that and running with it. And prompt writing changes your output from dialed in to just absolute crap. I think we can use that as the BS bunch. Like absolute, just like trash, where you would never like, discard. So yeah, it is, there are so many guides for prompt writing now. But again, I go back to, don't lose your voice in your prompt writing. Like, your voice is power.
Yeah.
Your personal brand is power. So, refeed that output with your voice added in, and it'll get better and better over time.
That's awesome.
100% agree. It should take you like 80% of the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's not copy paste.
Yeah.
And that's an important element. I'm just going to call back to what you said before, Kate, and that, I'm likely wherever you have been and anything you've posted, you will recognize that you wrote it. So it's not a US,
It's not
T-Pay, thing. It's not it's wherever, or it's a Kate thing or a Bo thing or a Bree thing that's going to shine through. If you let AI do all the work, you're going to lose that edge or that voice, which you just can't. So I just wanted to reemphasize what you said there, that's the important part.
Yeah, and it's, we have a lot of product marketing pieces that are out. It's, all of those, especially if it's something that I'm presenting on a demo. I do our introduction of UST Pay, and it's my voice, because I'm the one that's presenting it, and I don't. That it's more comfortable for me to present it in that way when it is my voice. But yeah, so a lot of our product marketing pieces are written in my voice, which is set up with a strong prompt, and again, seasoned over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you messed with? We're really talking about AI, like generation for just text. Have you like ventured off to do any of the like AI generated like images or videos or any of that side of the AGI?
Yeah, a little bit, though. That's really exciting for me to play with. I started with that with Coffey-Bacon. Like on a personal level, like trying to create a graphic. My husband and I are going to have custom bands made, and we wanted, an image that was like, it was Coffey-Bacon. So I played with it kind of more personally. I recently wrote a blog that was on imposter syndrome and building a professional brand in a world of social media, and what it means on the back end for a messy process, a messy middle. And when I posted that blog, I used AI to create the image for that blog, and I was so tickled with the way that it turned out. It was like I had to pre-prompt, but what it ended up giving me was exactly what I had in my mind, and it would have taken me so long to manually create that image. So I've used it kind of more personally. Professionally, I haven't jumped into that yet. I don't have a good reason why. I guess I just haven't needed it. But it's getting better all the time. Even the
really
Coffey-Bacon images that I've made, or I'll make AI pictures for people's birthdays. Like I made an AI picture for AJ Ansari. We're birthday twins. So I made a custom image for him and sent it to him. But I've used it in places like that. I would be very interested to talk to somebody who's used it at a bigger scale and see what it's coming up with for them.
Mine always end up screwing up the words.
Yeah.
Like it'll get the picture exactly right, but it'll like spell D365 wrong. And I'm like, well, I can't.
It's really hard.
use it.
There's a lot of letters in there.
Like impossible. Yeah.
I can barely write it out myself.
I barely could say it just now. So like, as soon as that threshold crosses, like I think it'll really take off. But for now, I can't really use it
I think
professionally
I'm going to
or
apply the same
personally.
filter that Kate put on earlier. The problem I have with the imagery right now is that it's all looks the same to me. So whether Kate posted or both, the actual
Oh
output,
yeah.
so there's going to be a lot of prompting to get the result that you want to make it unique to your brand. Otherwise, you're going to end up looking like everybody's image because it just comes out looking all glossy and. I mean, they're awesome, and you can do something like you said. I just want a dinosaur, I want a T-Rex drinking some coffee, having a bacon, and he's riding a skateboard, and he's got a cowboy hat on, and 5 seconds later you've got this, and
You
that's
really need to
great
prompt
for
it, so I need to see
for
that.
what it is. But then, just I want to see that separation value, like Kate said, or maybe it's Bo, who is, as it gets better and we learn better how to prompt it, to get
Yeah.
that result, so it is unique and it is your voice again.
Yeah. A
There, I
couple of
feel like
months
we need
ago,
to, when we're editing this, Bobby, we need to like
Go
exactly what
back.
you just described
Yeah.
and literally
build it.
ask Dolly to like generate that image. I
Yeah,
need to see
I'll
that.
have that in there. Yeah.
A couple of months ago, someone on LinkedIn, I think it was right around Christmas time, gave a challenge to ask AI to create an image of you working or something like it gave the exact prompt to use.
Jack Robotham has done a number of those, like early on last year. I felt like, do you know the guy
So
from
fun.
Microsoft? Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
so I
I don't know if it was him, but
did.
he was doing a number of those. Like, hey, now show a picture of your family. Now he just kept kind of prompting to get some interest in
Yeah.
designer.
Yeah, so it didn't really give it much information other than, what's already in. And it made me a man.
That's the other problem. It's not doing a great job with diversity and when it
Right.
brings your images back. It's still falling quite short. I the first images I tried to create, I shared this with Donna Sakar on a call. We were talking about AI and imagery, and I kept asking it for a short guy at a conference, and it kept making me like boss baby, like I was a baby. It wouldn't get past the fact that short meant baby. I
Oh my
just
gosh.
I wish I'd saved them all. It's like me, a little spit curl on top and diapers, running through a conference. It was like in purple diapers, by the way. But yeah, it just wasn't quite there with its understanding, I think, of what certain parameters mean, around different cultures and such. So yeah, but it's getting better. Like you said, it's getting better and better and better.
Yeah, I think it's learning how to prompt it to your point, and that isn't anything that I've kind of jumped into yet. Now I'm curious about it. But yeah, I haven't really, been into the AI image generation yet.
We are coming up on time, so I need to be
Oh yeah.
wary of that. Bree, any last words? Let's do a quick round. Any last words on anything we've learned or anything we need to get out? Any last BS you want to hit Kate with?
I think that there's a lot of good stuff in here, like concerning like voice and AI. It's obviously a powerful tool, but you have to like maintain the foundation that, like you said, like your voice is your power. So when you're scrolling through LinkedIn, it's good to go through a practice of like identifying other voices and being aware of that so that you're able to like harness that for yourself. That's a good tool in the toolbox for me
I love
as
it.
I find my voice. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciating those folks that are getting their voices out there uniquely. Bo,
Yeah.
how about you?
I'll just piggyback on that. I think one of the bigger challenges for this next generation growing up in this AGI era is what, like, they're going to need less help on developing prompt engineering because that's just going to come natural to them. They're going to need a lot of help on identifying what their actual voice
Yes.
is,
Yeah.
and they're gonna need some guidance on like, is my voice really robotic and white papery? No. Okay. Well, what is your voice, and helping them extract that like through like human interaction.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be like kind of the next like phase in the next like year or two is us as humans helping other humans like develop their voice again. Because I think we're gonna probably over pivot and everybody become like a robotic white paper,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna just like
Pivot back. Yeah.
hit the stone age, and then now we're back to like writing with our true voices again.
As long as we all still dance like the robot.
Right.
Hey, what about you? Any last parting words on?
Yeah, I am so happy that Brandon, what I said resonated with you. Your who you are as a professional your professional brand, people want relationships with people. People buy from people. And keeping that at the forefront and developing you in the midst of all these advances in technology that we are seeing and experiencing, that is just as important. And so figuring out who you are, what your voice is, the things that you want to say, the things that you stand for, because those are foundational to who you're going to become as a professional with a personal professional brand. So, I think that working in your AI and seeing your AI as a companion to your work, not as the leader of your work, but a companion, and realizing that your voice and your input is just as important. And I'm glad that message resonated. And Bo, your insight into what our challenge may be moving forward is dead on. So, encouraging our younger professionals to stay the course with their professional development in who they are.
I love it.
I love the Simon Sinek quote there. People buy from people.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Great way to end. Thank you so much, Kate, for joining us. Oh, we have a gift for you. We have a parting gift. Should we share that with Kate? So for playing along, pardon?
I totally forgot about this.
Yeah. So I know a couple of things. Actually, I forgot to mention this. I'm going to quick mention it because of, again, your personal brand. I'm stealing a little piece because you hope that in some way when you do something well, somebody does take a little piece and carry it with them, because then everybody is kind of uniquely like a DNA connected along the way. I went out and bought a monocle because I wear reading glasses, and Kate wears a monocle when she travels, or maybe all the time, so that you can, instead of having to pull out the old readers and unfold them and stuff, I'm going to dedicate it as my Kat Coffey-Bacon monocle that will travel with me where I go to conferences and I need to quickly look at something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have a monocle, and it helps me rise in ingredients.
Plus, it's badass. I mean, she's got just a monocle, and she's got a pet, aardvark. Her scene is incredible. When she travels. So yeah, we want to give you a parting gift. I'm going to share my screen, and
I'm afraid
for playing along. We would love to have given you the big prize, but for today, I know you've created some phone. Backgrounds for folks with their LinkedIn QR code. So we've created for you the virtual thirst trap colonel. I keep saying that's his name. I know that's not it, but there he is. From the BS Bunch with your LinkedIn QR. So I'll get that out to you in the email, or maybe we'll hand deliver it to you at DynamicsCon. We'll just boom.
Share it with your friends.
Share with your friends.
He
looks like Brad Pitt to me. I feel like it's Brad Pitt, from some movie. He's just got that Brad Pitt look.
Fight Club?
Fight Club, yeah. Fight Club, Brad Pitt, yeah.
I mean,
KFC.
with the rings, with the Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Just definitely, they've stepped up the Colonel Sanderings.
Colonel Sanders with a signet ring? I would have never guessed. It's such a power move.
Again, thank you so much, Kate. Really appreciate having you on. Appreciate all you BSers as well. You're all awesome, and love hanging out and chatting with you about AI. Until next time, we'll see you all out in the community.
Out in the wild.